I just want to say the last girl ate down. Where you said a point where, women should be in the kitchen. Well, first of all, I'm from Ireland and I have a podcast called Get the Gist. Follow the vibes. But yeah.
No. I'm just like over here like I always say privilege is invisible to those that have it. Do you think a 16-year-old guy would be able to get like certain things like in life? Like, not at all. They're invisible. Nobody gives a fuck, right? So that right there, her being able to come on the mic and say all these things or whatever it may be, like, that proves my point that like men and women live different lives completely.
No, I feel like a 16-year-old boy, if he was educated enough, could come on and speak his mind.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Stupid.
What's your
What are you talking
You
about?
said
discussion?
women should stay in the kitchen.
Yes.
But to be honest,
Or in her case, stay at home.
Oh, we're not talking about her now because
Yeah.
she ate down. We're moving on to me. So you said that women should be in the kitchen. I think cooking is a life skill, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Everyone should learn how to cook, to be honest. So that's my, counter argument to your point.
Everyone should learn how to cook.
Yeah, it's a life skill.
Sure. But that doesn't refute that women should still be in the kitchen.
Like, it's a life skill. Where do you cook?
So this is what I'm saying. When men deal with women, right, we have to bring a lot of value to the table.
Okay.
Okay?
Everyone brings value.
No, women really don't. And I'll explain why.
To you.
Okay, who's pickier, men or women?
1 second. Do you have a missus? Do you have a girl?
That's irrelevant to the question.
No, like, I just want
I'm
to know.
asking you.
I want to get to know you.
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
We're having an
The reason why a lot of women would do that is because they want to kind of throw an ad hominem attack like, oh, you don't think women are valuable? Well, that's why you have no girl. Well, to her surprise, he actually doesn't have a girl. But that has no bearing towards the conversation / the debate that they're having right now.
objective discussion.
Okay.
I'm asking you, who's pickier, men or women?
Men are so picky. Men who know their value anyways.
Stop the
men
cap.
who like have worth or have self-worth, they are very picky.
Okay.
Yeah.
In general.
In general,
Yeah.
who's pickier, men or women of the opposite gender?
Women aren't picky, to be honest. Like, women need 3 things.
Stop the
What-
cap.
The main thing women need in this life is to feel safe.
Okay, again, the question is,
Yeah.
who is pickier?
Men.
Okay, see, we can't even have a real conversation because that's
And this is what happens to a lot of like arguments when you're trying to explain this concept to women about who's pickier or who has more options, is that they don't really understand the general view of things. They go and look at their perspective. And from their perspective, maybe she's not picky, or maybe she's just being facetious and wants to disagree with him. But I think a real way Myron in the Fresh&Fit Podcast could really tackle conversations like this, especially with women who don't really understand the concept of intersexual dynamics, is that you need to bring facts. So if you show her data that women are actually much pickier than men, then you can have a factual standpoint on which you guys can now argue based upon. Get me?
that's biologically incorrect
Why is it biologically correct? Incorrect?
because women have far more standards for men than men have of women.
But to be honest, like, would you say you're a man that's making money and like, is doing well?
Yes,
You'd be picky with you look picky.
but I got in a position where I can afford to be picky now.
Exactly. Women have gone to the position to feel picky.
No,
to
they're
be
not.
picky.
A woman could be 18 years old and be picky and brought nothing to the table. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
But can I tell you
Men-
something? I think it's how you view it, because you can be 16 and be picky. Like, you can be like, yeah, I actually want a poodle instead of a Rottweiler. You can actually be picky. Like, that was a very lazy example, but you can be picky too. I think being picky is very subjective. Everyone
Okay,
can be picky.
let's go through this because I don't know if you're debating in bad faith if you can't make simple biological concessions on the discussion.
Okay,
It's very
but-
simple.
Biological,
Men and-
right? So
Yes.
men, woman,
Yes.
coochie, penis.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Because
go.
everything starts there.
right.
So once we start there, that men and women are different. They're
Yeah.
not the same.
Okay, so
let's go
difference
into
from
okay. You
gender-
gotta stop. You gotta
Okay.
stop. You gotta stop.
Sorry.
Because I'm trying to explain the
apologize.
concept here and why you're not correct.
Okay, go on.
Men and women are different.
Yes.
Men are looked at as protectors, providers, leaders.
Yeah.
Women are looked at as nurturers, and they want a man that's stronger than them that's going to take care of them. So in other words, women have far more requirements of men than men have of women. Okay, women are more selective. Why? Because they carry children.
Yeah.
They can only bring one child to term per year. So when they do have a seed put in them, they need to make sure it's from the best man that they can get. Women want quality, men
Yeah.
want quantity.
Yeah.
Okay, so since women want quality,
Yeah.
by definition, okay, they're more selective than men are.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, since men don't ask for much, what we really ask for, the things matter less. Or sorry,
Okay.
excuse me, the things matter more.
Right.
So since we don't ask for much, we want peace, maybe some food, you to not be a whore.
Right.
3 things really.
Yeah.
Each of those things have way more weight.
Yeah.
So what I'm arguing is, if a woman can't be in the kitchen and cook, she's effectively significantly more useless, because we don't ask for much.
Okay.
Whereas a guy, he can be ugly, but he can make up for that in other ways.
Yeah.
He could go ahead and get money. He could be charming. He could be charismatic. He
Yeah.
can have some status. Men can make up for their lack of sexual market value.
Okay.
Women really can't. If you're a whore, or you're ugly, or you don't do what you're supposed to do,
That's
you're effectively
crazy.
useless.
Those
Because
words
men
are
and women are
crazy.
not the same with how we mate select.
Okay.
Okay, that's very important. Since we mate select in completely different ways, we look for different things.
Yeah.
So when a woman can't cook or isn't in the kitchen, a part of her duties, she's basically absolving. So
Okay.
why am I even with her?
To be honest, like a woman should learn how
You
to
know
cook
what?
as a.
You know what? He did that whole breakdown, and I can guarantee she's still not going to understand because she was triggered by the fact that he said the word whore. I can guarantee she's not going to get the concept, or it went in one ear and out the other, and she didn't understand his whole explanation of why we're different.
Man should. But obviously, you said, back to biology, back in the olden days, women were gatherers, men were hunters.
Okay,
It was
let me
kind
ask
of
you a
more like
question
a
real
team.
fast. Let me ask you
I'm
a
not
question.
done because I let you land.
Hold on.
So I'm not
Hold
done.
on.
Let me.
No, because
let
I'm
me
gonna
land,
test your
'cause I
logic
let
here.
you- Okay, go on.
Let me test your logic. Because you said a man should learn how to cook anyway. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you go to boxing class, right?
Okay.
And you train to fight,
Yeah.
right? Someone comes up and assaults you, and you're there with your boyfriend.
Assaults me.
Yeah. So
Like
some
how?
guy,
Headlock.
yeah, he hits you, right? He
Like
hits you.
in the face, in the belly.
Well, I mean, he hits you. I'm just, it's just
It
a scenario
depends.
here.
Because like if it's in the belly, I can take it. If it's the eye, I
Stupid.
can't take it.
All right, he hits you, right?
Okay.
Are you gonna? What if your man looks at you and says, "Oh, well, you know how to fight. You got this one." No,
Yeah.
you would want him to do what he's supposed to do, which is protect you, right?
No, but like to be honest, that example was kind of like 2 out of 10 because if we're in a boxing ring, like that shit's supposed to happen. Maybe if we're in a supermarket, like what you guys have Target here.
You just said boxing gym. In what point in the conversation did he mention a boxing gym? He said you're out with your girl and you get punched in the face. What do you think? What would you expect from your man? You would expect him to come in and protect you. And it's so simple, but she's being so facetious, like she doesn't understand the point because she just wants to disagree to prove that his points are not valid.
We have Lidl in Europe. If it was at the shopping mall, then like, I understand where my man needs to.
This is precisely why women need to be in the kitchen. They can't grasp logically sound analogies.
No, but to be honest with you, I'm expressing an opinion. I respected your opinion, even though I might not agree with it. So if I'm talking, you can acknowledge it instead of diminishing it. Because like, can I tell you what your problem is? You saying women shouldn't be in the kitchen. That's not the problem. Women being in the kitchen, like that's what women were actually grown up to do. They're supposed to take care of babies and be in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's more so your tone and like, the vibes that you do deliver it in. You know what I mean? You might be a chill guy. You're actually a chill guy, but the way you deliver it may be the problem. But yeah, like obviously you didn't acknowledge my like point.
So
Do you remember
I
my
guess-
point?
So it's how I said it versus what I said.
Okay.
Is that the problem? That's
No,
the issue?
No, yeah, I think your delivery maybe. However, like, do you know how to?
I tell you, it's how you said it, i.e. the words you used, your tone, versus understanding the actual point.
Cook yourself?
Okay,
Wait,
let's
where you-
address
no, what's
the
your- no, no,
delivery.
Can I talk, please? Because I let you land. Where are you from? No, I just need to know culture-wise. Culture is important. Context to the conversation.
All right, let me address your point on the tone and delivery. I
Yeah.
think the truth is the truth regardless of how it's delivered. Now,
Facts.
this is something that I've noticed exclusively with women that I don't really deal with men. Women are more concerned with how the information is conveyed versus the information that's conveyed.
Yeah, but however, if you're in a job interview, like you're gonna obviously talk. Okay, yeah, like I love this job because I want to work hard. Dead ass, you just need money. You don't really care about like they don't really like they care about your qualifications. They want you to talk, but these times you're there for money. Like if you didn't need a job, you wouldn't have a job. You wouldn't go to the interview. So delivery is actually very important.
It's not really analogous to what the
To
example,
you.
but yeah.
Are you tired of me already? Okay,
This is
next.
why women need to be in the kitchen. Like I mean,
Yes.
bro, like this is like you can't grasp.
Wait, but
the
can I
simple
ask you,
this
like,
is-
can you cook
you
yourself?
They can't grasp simple concepts.
you-
like
Okay, I'm asking you. I've answered your questions. You haven't answered my questions.
no,
Can
because
you cook? Can you cook, baby? He's tired of me, guys. Woo!
look,
Thank you.
I said this before. You saying, oh, both parties should be able to cook.
Yeah.
That's fine. I understand that.
Perfect.
But that's why I gave you the example. You know how to box. You're out with your guy.
Yeah.
A guy hits you.
in the boxing ring.
No, you're out and about. You know how to box. You know how to defend yourself. But you
Okay.
still expect your man. It's his job
To be honest,
to
like
protect you.
love with expectations is not. So I don't really.
You see what she's doing? She doesn't. She just she's choosing to fail to grasp the point that he made, and it's so clear. You guys both know how to do one skill set, but you would still rather your partner, who is better at it, to do it for you. That's it.
Expect anything from people. I do maybe expect common human decency. However, like if I'm walking on the street in Miami, I'm from Ireland. Nobody knows me from anywhere. If someone punches me on the street, I take that shit on the chin. To be honest.
Jesus Christ.
Are you tired of me already? Why are you not talking anymore?
You don't make any sense, and you're not staying on topic. I told you before, because your argument is men and women should
I'm
both be able to
replying
cook.
to you.
All right, cool. Men and women should be able to cook.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you knew how to box and defend yourself,
Yes.
and some guy came in and assaulted you, you would still expect your man to step up and protect
don't-
you, despite the fact that you can defend
You're
yourself.
just assuming I'd
So-
expect. What if I don't?
You would.
No.
Because the reality is, even though you can defend yourself,
Yeah.
you're physically inferior to that man most of the time. So you're going to expect your guy, who is going to be physically capable, or at least more physically capable than you, to do that because that's his job as a protector provider. Same thing with women. So when I say, oh, I might be able to cook, however, you're a woman, it's your duty to do that traditionally, just like it's the guy's duty traditionally to protect you, even though you can defend yourself. That's my point. Just because I can do it and capable doesn't mean that I should when I have a woman there. And if she doesn't do it, she's useless. That's my point. Women are there to nurture their guy, take care of their guy, despite the fact that he might be able to cook on his own. Here's the problem. Women like to obfuscate and deflect from their duties. And this is
Obfuscate.
quite frankly why we
Wait.
have the problems that we have now. Because women will sit there and say, oh, I am, I'm equal to my guy. I don't want to observe these duties. However, I still want you to be tall. I still want you to make money. I still want you to be a protector and a provider. That's a bullshit fucking deal for the guys. So I tell guys, if your girl isn't willing to be submissive, obey you, be in the kitchen, not question your authority, get her out of here. Because I'll be honest with you, just having this discussion with you right now is making me get gray hair. And that's not how this should be. But this is what feminism has done. It's made women think that their nonsensical arguments that don't make any logically sound sense matter. They don't. This is why for the longest time we said women are to be seen, not be heard, because most women don't understand logic and rationale. This is what it is. Like I gave a very simple concept there, and you're like, well, and it's like that doesn't make sense.
To be honest with you, can I be real?
Yeah, sure.
You haven't memorized you haven't said any of my points or remembered them. My point was, the first thing I said was cooking is a life skill. But you're saying that doesn't make any logical sense. Why does it make any logical sense?
No, I said a man can have that life skill of cooking.
Yeah.
But when he gets a woman,
Yeah.
that should be
He
taken
should
over
forget
by the
li-
female.
He should forget the
He
life
can-
skill.
No, he can keep the life skill, but she
Okay.
should be the one handling it.
Okay.
Just like you know how to fight and defend yourself, it's a life skill.
Yeah.
But if something were to happen and someone were to assault you, he should be stepping up and doing what he's doing because that's his job. See, the reality is, and women don't like to understand this, there's roles in relationships.
Yeah.
I'm just finally holding women's feet to the fire and say you need to hold on to your roles because you guys still expect us to make money. You guys still expect us to be funny. You guys still expect us to protect you. But then you want to sit there and be like, well, I don't want to be in the kitchen. Well, fuck you. Get out of here. I tell guys all the time, if a woman doesn't obey you and do what she's supposed to do, don't date her.
So basically what I would say is, right?
It's not a good deal for us.
No, I understand you. And I appreciate your point. What I was gonna say was, usually these kind of mindsets, they actually kind of like come from like upbringing. So was your mom in the kitchen growing up?
I just want to say this real quick. It's such a shame because she's a young, beautiful black woman, but she's not. I don't know if she's nervous or if she just doesn't truly understand what he's trying to say, but it also seems like she's not making an effort to understand. And then it's just becoming more frustrating to talk to her. And I think that's what a lot of men kind of go through when they try to explain a concept to women. It's just a lot of frustration.
Yes,
Okay, and your
Yes.
dad, what was your dad doing?
he was working.
Okay, cool. Did you ever okay, so have you talked to your mom about this point? How did she feel about it? And not from like you're trying to convince her, but like how she thought about the whole experience, like, in the household.
You know what's funny? I love when women bring this up. You want to
Yeah.
know who taught me this?
Who?
No, it's my mom.
Really? But
Yes.
yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you where are you
That's-
from?
see, 'cause I grew up-
usually
here's the
like
thing.
because usually like cultures like are very strict with women have been in the kitchen. So I
I
just
grew
want
up
to know
in
where
a
you're from.
traditional nuclear
So
family
did I.
where both parents, my mom knew her job, my dad knew his job, and my mom was the one that told me, if a woman doesn't want to cook and clean for you, she's not worthy of a serious relationship. So in
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
other words, they need to do their fucking job, just like the man's supposed to do his job.
But- okay.
But we live in this crazy world where women pick and choose what jobs they want to take on.
But can I tell you something as well? Is it the
Sure.
woman's fault though? You see how the world is right now? Like perspectives have changed. Like people are like not doing things they used to do in the like let's say for example, we come from hunter gatherers, right? And in the household there's traditional roles, women in the kitchen, men working. But we know we live in a whole world where, you get to walk around and call women hoes and stuff like that. That wasn't allowed back in the days. Do you get me? That
Yeah,
word
because
that word
women weren't
wasn't
hoes
like,
back then.
huh?
Because women weren't hoes back
To
then.
be honest, like I think there's been hoes for centuries.
For sure.
However, you can openly as a man come out in the street of this Miami and say this on a mic in front of people.
That he's very few of men who can actually go out on the street and do this and not have anything to lose behind doing this. So what she's saying is incorrect. How many men can actually do this without losing something or say this without losing something? This is why you're seeing such a turn in this content, is because a lot of people get canceled from posting stuff like this. You get canceled from challenging a woman's mindset when it comes to this controversial point. So not a lot of men can do this, actually. Very few men can do this.
People. But you know what, yeah? I respect that you have a strong mind. A lot of people don't have that. Thank you guys. Get the Just Podcast follow.
No problem. Sure. What was that? Probably. Hey, and guys, we're back live on all the platforms. I know one of the streams went down, but we're back up on YouTube and everything. How long were we down for? 2 minutes? All right.
What's up, Myron? How are
Yo.
you, man?
What's up?
I feel like the sexual market value graph would help you a lot trying to explain the Roll Tomasi graph, kind of like it'll explain a lot more so people, so you don't have to go all over the place, and it kind of gives you more of how.
Yeah, I mean, that assumes that people have critical thinking skills, bro, and we all know that that's hard to find nowadays, especially for women. So, I mean, I could pull the graph out, but I don't think most people even be able to read it. If I be honest with you, bro.
Keep it up, man.
Thank you, man.
big
Appreciate
fan.
it. Someone that's definitely aware. I like it. Who's up next? Okay.
Hello, hello.
Yo,
What's your name, bro?
what's up, man?
How you doing? I'm Del.
Okay, what's up?
What's your name?
It's Myron.
Who's this
Hi,
goober?
Myron.
Hey, I'm Kaya. Kaya, nice to meet you.
Hi.
I just want to say, man, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you because I'm actually the cook in my house.
Okay.
I cook good. But guess what? I didn't know she could cook. For the longest time, I liked my meals, and then she fucking blew me out of the water.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So here's the thing. So I, like a lot of women, rightfully so, was terribly in my masculine for so long out of safety and trauma. Once I healed, it transformed our relationship, and I was able to trust stepping into my femininity. And then
Okay.
it just changed everything. So really, I would say to the ladies, I understand that there's like a lot of trauma going on, and you don't want to give your femininity away to anybody who doesn't deserve it. It's better to stay single instead of meeting someone in trauma and, continuing that cycle. But just being in my feminine, I'm happier than I've ever been. And I never thought that I would say that because I was the last person that ever thought that I would be standing here right now saying that, but here I am.
Well, I'm glad cautionary tale for the ladies.
Yeah, no, and for a while, she's right, because for a while I was kind of in my feminine. As you can see, I have eyeliner on, so I still have some of that shit. But it was a long process, man. For the longest time, I kind of let her emotions run where the relationship was going. I kind of stepped back and let her lead a little bit.
Okay.
And then as I started to understand that she was becoming more softer as I became stronger, I started to realize that the importance of being the masculine protective type that you're talking about made her feel more feminine and more safe. And then she started to open up, and then we had a better relationship after 5 years.
Okay. No, that's great. I'm glad that you guys were able to, because most relationships like don't last like that. So that's great that you guys were able to make that shift and make it better. So that's good.
We came in the beginning very, very hard because we both had rebounds.
Okay.
And then it was very, very, and then we reversed it after time. It's like, why am I with this girl? Why is she
Yeah.
she's saying things, why is she with me? And then it started to, I don't know, just unfold after time.
Cool. All right. Fair.
I would say that we actually started on rock bottom, and then we healed our way into love, and so it's possible.
All right.
You know.
Glad that you guys
Thanks,
were able
Myron.
to make it work. Yeah, that's gender roles, man, helping out. Who's up next?
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. No worries, man. I'm glad that you guys worked it out. That's good. That's awesome.
Okay.
So we need more of.
Good evening. What's your
Hi.
name?
Myron, how are you?
Myron, nice to meet you. Are you married?
No, thank God.
Okay, so that's one thing right there. And I just want to give you a little background on myself. So I'm 52.
Types.
Hey, man. Well, I
Anyway.
appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So, oh shit, here we go. Here we go.
All I want to know is who's trying to be slick.
Belongs to the streets.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Confirming the stereotypes.
You gotta do
Chipping
better.
out, man. Shit crazy. Hey, you want to say something? Go ahead. Let's okay. Let her talk. Let her say what she wants to say.
More aggressive.
Bro, I hate being right all the time. I'm
apologize for her.
vindicated.
She's a little drunk, you know. She's not like this. I don't do this.
Stop the cap.
I'm vindicated. I'm vindicated, bro.
Actually, shout out to her friend.
Did some nigga not
Hello,
come here
everybody.
like an hour and a half ago
Um,
talking about
my
you
name
talking
is
about black
Rocky.
women? Blah, 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 blah.
I moved from
Sipping it.
London.
Hold on one second, bro. Hold on.
I moved from
Right?
London 2
Hold
days
on, hold
ago.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Like, did this not happen like literally 2 hours ago, sipping? And then what happens? The stereotype gets confirmed immediately. I hate being right all the fucking time, bro. What do you say? Yeah, black women, whatever, man. All right, go ahead. What's up?
I said,
And let's cut to that video real quick.
You disrespect black women on your show?
Yeah.
You can't disrespect me. Cause I'm a nigga walk up here, throw this drink in your face and let you know what's up.
Oh, you gonna do that?
Yeah.
That won't be good, bro.
I'm Hamothy though.
That won't be good. That won't be good. On some nigga shit, man. It confirms all the stereotypes. Comes in, starts chipping out, having a good discussion, debate on higher IQ shit. This dude immediately makes it about black women, starts simping.
You disrespect black women on your show?
Yeah.
You can't disrespect me. Cause I'm a nigga.
Oh, hey, I heard you.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? So I was here a little bit earlier, and I heard you talk. Hey, I heard you say.
I'm sorry?
I was here a little bit earlier, and I heard you say about talk about women being submissive. So,
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? What do you mean by submissive? Just so you know where I'm coming from. I'm a conservative. So I think I'm not too far from where you are, but I have big differences, at least in the way that you articulate that.
They should obey their man and follow their man's lead.
Okay, so that's what you mean by being submissive.
Yeah.
So you're saying that in general, you're generalizing, I'm assuming, right? Like, do you mean that a woman should be submissive to a man that is perhaps abusing the women, or perhaps has not the best ideas, perhaps someone that is not educated or informed about certain things? Like, what do you mean by submissive? Because I can also see scenarios where a man abuses a woman, right? And should that woman be submissive?
Well, that's where we got to see. This is the thing. Your question in itself is the problem, right? Because your premise is, should they be submissive to a loser? That shouldn't even be a question, because they should have the ability to pick the right guy, right? Like, that shouldn't even be a question where they're there with a guy that is hating them or doing some bullshit
when
or
you're
isn't a
talking about
provider.
a population of 300 million people, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to make bad choices. Like, that happens every day. That happens with everyone.
Yeah, but
Even-
but women are adults. They're, you know, consenting, lucid individuals. Like, they should have the wherewithal to understand, okay, this guy is worthy of someone that I'm going to follow or not. So they should be
okay,
able
so-
to identify
100%. If
let's
you pick
a
a
guy
loser,
that's going to
that's
be a
on you.
competent
that is,
partner.
that is a smart dude, educated, but he's still, even as a smart person,
I'm a PhD.
educated, you can make bad decisions. So shouldn't the women have a backbone and say, hey, that's not the right choice? Like, let's think about this. And let's go even further. Like, if you think about business, for example, nowadays the best corporations are they want different ideas, right? And that includes having women in the workforce. So by you silencing the women and by them being submissive, aren't you,
What?
I guess, making that couple less than optimal?
Bro,
I'm
the
not
woman
saying
can
that
always
her
leave the relationship.
like she can't suggest anything or be involved in the decision-making process. But what I am saying is that the guy's got to be the final decision maker and the head of the household. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, her opinion can go into things when when he's making a decision. He'll take her input, right? Because that's just like common sense and good diplomacy. But in general, the man needs to be the decider and the final word. But the problem is that it's always the woman that's the final word. Or guys say stupid shit like "happy wife, happy life," or "let me run this by my wife." That's ridiculous to me. Any guy that sits there and needs to consult with his wife, that's pathetic.
I was with you. I was with you, I think, for the most part of what you said. But then you're saying, "Let me run this by my wife." What's wrong with that? If you're a team, right, and let's
That's
say you
pathetic.
even have kids, like, you should be
Because
consulting
you're the
with,
ultimate
with your partner,
decision
right?
maker at
There's
the
going
end of the
times
day.
where you're going to need to make executive decisions as the man, and you're
yeah,
not
of
going
course.
to want your
Exactly.
input with your woman, or you need to do what you need to do.
I think
You
that
can always
happens in
take her
both cases.
input,
Like,
No,
women,
she
But it
cannot
shouldn't
make
affect your
executive decisions
decision.
without your authority. That's the problem.
Why is that? Why is that?
Okay. In every successful business, every country, etc., there's always going to be an official decision maker, whether it's the president of the United States, the CEO of a company, etc. They make the final decisions, and there's times where there's going to be executive decisions made without her knowing or her being involved or whatever, and that's how it needs to be. And the man needs to be the one that's always making that decision, not her. This concept of egalitarianism and we're a team, that's bullshit feminist propaganda. There is no team.
I agree with
Let
egalitarian
me explain
view on
this.
things.
You're only a
Or the
team
not
as long as you are the coach. As soon as you no longer are the coach and you become a player, she doesn't want to play with you anymore. So I think it's very important that men understand that women deal with men from an opportunistic standpoint, and they deal with men from an extraction of value standpoint. Women don't want equals, despite the fact that they say that. They want a superior. So if I come into a relationship being the superior, and then I tell her, oh, you could go ahead and make decisions alongside me, we're equal, I've basically denigrated myself to her level. And that's not what she signed up for. Now, women will sit there and say, I want an equal, but that's not true. They want a guy that's going to be decisive and in charge. Now, are there situations where you might want her input? Sure. But as the man, you reserve the right to make executive decisions without her permission, without her being involved. Anytime I meet a guy and he tells me I got to run it by my wife, 9 out of 10 times, that woman runs the relationship and he's a pussy. And that's a problem.
But wait, you're like generalizing. Like, I'm sort of directionally in your camp, but it's just a way that you generalize things. It just doesn't sound. It just doesn't sound right. I mean, there's certain scenarios where you can make that exact.
He's not telling you what to do in your relationship. He's just saying how he wants his relationship and how men who want to operate like him should run their relationship. You can do whatever you want in your own relationship. But our beliefs is the man should be the final decision maker, and the woman can contribute with her inputs, but at the end of the day, you're the decision maker. The decision comes down to you. And if you're not ready to be in that position, or if your woman can change your mind on this position and she's actually the decision maker, then that's not how you want your relationship to be, in his words. Because that puts the woman in the masculine role, that puts her on the same level as you. When you come to the relationship bringing in more value than she does. Simple as that.
Decision, I understand, but I think for most important life-changing decisions, you need to consult with your spouse or with your significant other.
What I'm saying is that that's a privilege, not a right. So when you consult with her, that's a privilege you're affording her, but it is not a right.
So okay. All right. Thanks for your time.
And here, look, I get it. You want to be politically correct. That I don't want to use you as an example.
I don't believe in political correct. I mean,
you do. Yeah, because you're taking point of contention with the way I'm conveying the information. I think that's precisely the problem.
No.
We need to go back. Hold on.
Look,
Let
let's
me
talk
say
about,
what I'm
like,
going to say here.
In corporate America,
The framing-
the executive, the CEO cannot just make decisions by themselves. I mean, he can. He has the
Yeah, he
authority,
can.
likely, but he needs to consult with his advisors. Otherwise, because he doesn't always have the right views, nor is he an expert in all the many different areas that are around the business. So you need to consult with your advisors and the people that are expert in those
Him
areas.
consulting, what I'm trying
Otherwise,
to explain
you're
to you,
making a less
him
than optimal
consulting with
decision.
those advisors is a privilege, okay? And this is the problem. Like, I get it. You're saying, hey, well, you know, in this area, I would argue, I'm not attacking you, but your rhetoric, your mindset, this is why so many men fail with women, because they have this, oh, let's go ahead and have a democracy and people vote type mindset with women. Women don't operate that way. They are not equals to us. You're operating from the frame of they're equal, they're logically sound, they can decide and use deductive problem solving like men. They're not deductive problem solvers like us. And I know this is politically incorrect to say this, but that's just how it is. And I would argue, not only are they not deductive problem solvers a lot of the time, they want you to be that guy and just make the decision without them. Women want guys who are going to take charge and make decisions with or without them. Now, again, are there situations where she can have the privilege of being involved? Sure. But in general, women want leaders, and we live in this pussified, feminized, gynocentric society where we care more about her feelings versus what needs to get done.
Yeah.
I think men need to be able to make executive decisions. If he wants to go ahead and make a financial decision, maybe he's purchasing something, running it by your wife, that's pathetic. That's whack.
I think you have good ideas, and I'll repeat. I'm like a broken record here, but I think there's something with delivering the message. There's something that I think you.
That's the
you
problem.
Need, you,
Like,
no,
you
no,
care more
wait,
about
wait,
how-
wait,
I
I
think-
think, wait, hold on a second. I think
That's why we have the
delivery.
problems in America that we have now. This
No,
political
that's not-
correctness, this
Okay,
wanting to
thank you for your
appease to
time.
the female
Appreciate it.
with the way women think. That's the problem, man. That's the problem. This political correctness and this softness and caring about feelings, that's precisely why we have the problems that we have. That guy earlier that came in talking about immigration. Oh, well, hate in his heart, blah, blah, blah. That's pussiness. That is why we have the issues that we have. If we're going to sit here and worry about people's feelings or the way information is conveyed, that is how we ended up with 99 genders. That is how we ended up with gays adopting kids. This is how we end up with the fucked up world that we have now because we're so concerned with people's feelings versus doing what needs to be done. Go ahead, man. What's up?
Thank you. First, I just want to
I'll
hear.
cut the audio.
Shout out to the podcast, man. I just want to say one thing before we get out of here, guys. It's not the message sometimes that people don't understand. It's the delivery, right? And of course, content creators are going to have controversial titles similar to this. Women should be in the kitchen. Changed my mind. Those are controversial titles to get you engaged and need to interact. But when you really listen to the message and you get past the point of not being triggered by the verbiage or the delivery, the tone, then you can get deeper into a higher level IQ conversation and actually have a really good debate. So I think once people understand that he's a creator, he's going to have controversial titles, but if you can listen correctly, which is not just hearing, but if you can listen and understand the message, I think you'll see that he has some very good points. But anyway, don't forget to comment, subscribe to the video. I'm reading all the comments. I'm replying to all the comments. And if you want more content like this, leave a comment and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.